Good afternoon, guys. My name is Alena Shautsova. I'm an immigration attorney from Brooklyn, New York. In today's video, I would like to provide you some quick updates regarding the most recent immigration news. We're going to talk about when courts are going to reopen. We're going to talk about what we hear from Department of State or consulates regarding the public charge rule, and some more information that may be relevant to your immigration situation. So thank you very much for joining me. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do so and hit that notification bell button so you will stay updated with regard to the most recent immigration news. Well, first of all, I would like to let you know that immigration courts are still going to be closed. Most immigration courts are still going to be closed through May 14th, 2021. This is relevant, for example, for New York immigration courts. You may be aware that some immigration courts have been reopened already. So you always have to check with your lawyer and your immigration court if you need to appear for the scheduled hearing. But in New York, if you are a non-detained respondent, meaning that you are not in detention, and you had scheduled individual or master hearings, those hearings will be automatically canceled through May 14th, 2021. You will not most likely receive a separate cancellation notice, but you will have to, at some point, receive a notice of your hearing date to be rescheduled, or your lawyer will receive that. So May 14th, 2021. I also wanted to let you know that USCIS is updating some forms related to public charge situation and them reverting back to the old version of the public charge rule. And it will affect some applicants. Starting from April 19th, 2021, for example, USCIS is going to start accepting new versions of certain forms only. And one of such forms that will be changed is Form I-45, Application for Adjustment of Status. So now we are in March 29th, so we have about 3 weeks before the old versions of the forms are not going to be accepted anymore. Just keep that in mind if you're planning on filing your case, refiling your case. Just know that new versions of the forms will need to be submitted to USCIS. Always check that edition date before mailing out your packages. It's very, very important. Basically, what changed in Form I-45, USCIS just took out the questions related to the Trump's administration public charge rule. And now, tied up with that, we have some news from the Department of State that controls how consulates are operating. Also, kind of important information. Department of State announced, and this announcement came just recently on March 26, 2021, that they will stop applying public charge rule that was promulgated by the Trump administration and will revert back to the old version of the public charge rule. But also they stated they're going to review the cases that got denied by the Trump's administration public charge rule. It means that if your case, your family case, maybe it was your spouse who didn't receive the visa because of the public charge rule, was denied, it's time to follow up with the consulate and ask for that review. So it's very important information. Consulates are going to stop using Trump's administration version of the public charge rule, and they're going to revert back to the old public charge rule, and they will apply all standard to the previous cases, and will review the cases that were affected. It's very, very important. Okay, so if you had a situation maybe when your I-601A waiver got denied because of the public charge rule, maybe it was an immigrant visa that got denied, now's the time to act. And finally, I wanted just to share with you some of my thoughts as to asylum pending situation. I receive so many questions about asylum pending situations when people are going to start being called for asylum interviews, what they can do, what they cannot do. I actually have a separate video on what you can do when you have asylum pending status. But here I wanted to just talk to you about asylum pending situation and immigration reform. So first of all, I would like to one more time tell you that asylum pending is not a real status. It's not a lawful non-immigrant status that you can change to some legal status. It's just akin to authorized stay. You may stay in the United States while your asylum case is being heard, but it's not lawful non-immigrant status. At times you will see that a person who is waiting for asylum will nevertheless be placed in removal proceedings because they do not have that lawful non-immigrant status, okay? It also tells us that if an immigration reform is going to be passed for undocumented residents of the United States, most people, unless they somehow not qualified for the immigration reform based on other grounds, but most people who have only asylum pending situation should be able to take advantage of that immigration reform. We can find confirmation to that in instructions to DACA, for example. When DACA was passed, there were like questions and answers because people were not sure who may qualify for DACA and how to treat the DACA qualifications. And USCIS stated that people who are waiting for asylum do not have a lawful non-immigrant status and thus can file for DACA. Okay, so if we take that statement, and unless of course something changes in the future, it means that people who are having asylum pending status will be able to take advantage of the immigration reform when it passes. Now, there were some concerns. I saw some discussions. People were saying, but the Biden's plan said if you have asylum status, you're not going to qualify for immigration reform. That's correct. But if you already have asylum status, that's what was in the proposal, if you are already a refugee or asylee. But if so, you don't need to worry about immigration reform because you can actually file for your green card after being in the United States a year, physically present in the United States for a year once you receive your asylum status. So I just wanted to make that little clarification. So if you were watching this video till the end, now you know the answer to this question as to whether or not you'll be able to file for immigration reform if you're waiting for your asylum interview. So thank you very much for watching, guys. Again, like, share this video, subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you soon.